Hi again, everybody. Mike Allegre for FullAccessSports.com. And this week, a young lady who's been playing a lot and starting most of that time since her freshman year, Daena Mau out of Hawaii. And, when you've watched somebody play for 3 or 4 years, or 3 years in this case with Daena and a few of the other ladies who've been playing a lot since they were freshmen, one of the things is you get to kind of know them even if you don't know them. And there's one thing I always notice about you. You've always got a smile. You're always happy. Even you might blow it on the floor, but later on it gets a little better. Is that just you?
Yeah, I'm just a pretty positive person and try to keep it light. I just could have fun.
A lot has changed since you came here as a freshman. A lot of pressure for you and Katie and several others that came here, Julia, to perform well, JoJo DeLong, to do what you had to do as freshmen. You were just learning the college game. That was not a great time.
Right. The team itself, we had a couple major injuries. Kylie with her ACL and now Becca with her knee and ankle. We are going down in numbers, but we're getting closer and stronger and meshing more and just keep progressing higher and higher and just setting the bar higher and higher every game.
The expectations I see from Coach Swadner are we've got to get better before we can get better. So you have to get the basics and the little things. You've played some very good teams pretty close this year. You've got 3 wins, which is more than last year. Right. So that's a nice goal, but still you'd like to have a few more.
Right. This year it actually feels like we've refreshed. We have a bunch of freshmen, new team, new dynamic, and it's just coming together. We almost strung back-to-back games wins, and we're just so close. We're right there. We should have won that game, but tough loss, but that's how you know that we're that close,
How hard is that on you as a team leader, as a junior, someone who's played in a ton of games in 2.5 seasons?
It's encouraging that, this is how far we've come from freshman year. Barely scraping up 1 win maybe, and now it's okay, the expectations are going up. We can compete with people in our conference. We can actually level up and stay with them. It's not like George Fox. It's okay, let's try to compete and stay with them. And
I know you mentioned a team that I saw you struggle with. You were ahead at one half, and I think you only scored 10 or 12 points in the second half at Fox. I remember how dejected you guys were. It could be because you put in a good half, and the last 20 didn't do anything.
Right. Yeah. And that's just the difference through the years and through the coaches changes and the team changes, really. We've really just keep setting the bar higher. It just keep progressing and it's just growing exponentially. We just keep meshing. We're not there yet. We have not peaked, but we're on the path, You're
on the path. Daena Mau here talking with us. Coming from the Hawaiian Islands, you're going to run into it's colder. It's almost as wet, but it's colder. It's different. But you seem to have, if you will excuse the expression, assimilated into your new area here. You and of course, Julia, who also comes from Hawaii and a teammate with you in there. How is it different when you come here? You're worried about academics and athletics and life. Is it that much different other than the weather?
Obviously the culture is different, but in Oregon, people are very friendly. It's kind of like home, just like that aloha spirit and whatnot, especially at a small liberal arts school like Willamette. It's very tight-knit, very family-oriented or group-oriented, but, everyone's trying to be the best to their potential as an individual and grow. These are college years, and I feel like everyone is, on their path, especially at Willamette. We're all progressing as students, as athletes, academically, our social lives, everything. It's the real world. It's almost like we're getting ready, geared up, and we're all adults, and yeah.
I think we forget sometimes you are young adults and you've got a lot to learn, and even us old guys have got a lot to learn. When you look at how you progressed here in terms of just your students' status as well as the education, it looks like you're feeling pretty good about it.
Right. I remember in freshman year I was a chem major, then I switched to bio, and it was just a lot of soul searching, where am I going with, what path am I taking? And that's the wiggle room you have with the liberal arts to figure that out. What do you want to do? What are you passionate about? And I really wanted to do bio, but it just wouldn't work, classes wise, credits wise. So I just switched it. Gonna major in religious studies, get a minor in bio. I'm thinking about after college, naturopathic medicine, just alternative medicine in general, just kind of in that direction. But keeping an open mind, definitely.
And that's one of the things I won't get into too far, homeopathic and then that type of medicine. does work. I can tell you it does work.
Yeah. I mean, it's just going back to like roots and what actually like medicine has found in other areas, you know.
You don't seem excited about where you're at all. You seem like you're a bored college student, but no, I'm kidding, of course. When you think about the population, the islanders, if you will, the East Asians, anyone from on the Pacific side of the world, I don't know what the population here is. I'm going to say it's close to 15%, if not more. There's quite a culture that you draw everyone into. It's not exclusive to you.
No, it's very open, loving, warm, you know, and that's here at Willamette even. I mean, I don't know. I think that's just contagious, you know, when people are like friendly, it's just contagious, you know, it just keeps growing. And
one of the things also, the big luau they have in the spring, I can always go back to a lot of different people, but Chris Mulitala always comes to my mind. Big Muli, he was probably a poster child for that, but that continues and it brings everybody in.
Right. Our luau is one of our major events of campus. You know, just it brings the whole campus and outer community together and gives a cross-cultural experience of what a lot of people here are from, or like, you know, can connect to really and share that, you know, like through the dance, the hulas, and the food, you know.
And the food.
Yeah, and the food. Yeah.
I think that's the center case of one way or the other.
Right, yeah.
Do you miss that at home when you think about the food that's here and really what you can get at home? Do you miss that a little bit?
Yeah, the food at home is, I mean, you can't beat that, but it's, you know, there's food here. I mean, as athletes, you're always hungry. You find what you want to eat.
Yeah. As you get ready to get into the second half of this season, as we go back to basketball briefly, we see where you're headed academically. Obviously, emotionally, spiritually, and studentally, you're doing well. But the basketball team, like you said, a lot to learn, wanting to do the right things at all times, and getting better. And I see you guys getting better weekly.
Yes, I mean, we're so close. We almost strung together 2 wins, and we're 3 wins, I think, for the whole season thus far, and that's more that we've had in a couple years. And I just feel like we're not done. We're not done growing even for this season. It just keeps getting higher and higher, like what we're pushing to achieve, really.
And there's an opportunity to beat some teams that are not going to expect you to beat them.
Exactly. I mean, we're right there. We can compete with almost everyone in our conference, and that's something that is tough to lose to, but we're right there. We're so close to, you know, getting some W's.
A year or two ago, we wouldn't have said that, but I can tell you right now, Coach Peg Swadner's had a lot to do with it. She's brought you guys together as a team and as a family unit as well. So as we get ready to go here, I know that I know very little Hawaiian, and I'm not even going to try, but one of the things I've always liked about being in Hawaii is like it's hang loose, bruh. Isn't that what that?
The shaka.
The shaka?
Yeah.
So when we leave the place, you just say aloha, you can do that?
Yeah, or you see somebody, you know, yeah.
So as we leave,
okay.
aloha, shaka. You're listening to Mike Allegre with Daena Mau, fullaccessports.com.